Okay. I don't know what happened there. It completely deleted my settings. Huh. Well, another shitty start. What a surprise. That's the second time I did that. Well, that'll teach me to really check my settings. Luckily, I didn't even really get into my topics. I was still going through my intro shit. How you like my Donald Duck glass? Isn't that cool? So yeah, gonna be talking about some Juggalo shit, some wicked clown shit, and Lethal Weekend. I performed at Lethal Weekend on Saturday, so I'm gonna be talking about that a little bit. But first, I want to talk about some gathering shit. So they announced the first parties of the gathering. Now, this means that uh, these are just, late night parties. This is like time filler shit, I feel like. So we still haven't really gotten any real announcements, other than just clowns. But this is fresh because, uh, some of the homies here, Devereaux got a fucking party here, so this is really dope. So yeah, let me just talk about these. The Electrified Crime Scene Blacklight Party with DJ Chunk and Clownvis. That's Thursday night, midnight to 4 a.m. So like I said, this is just time filler shit. This is on the Love Rising stage, which I think is the third stage, your comedy tent stage, if you will. So yeah, I don't know what exactly will be going on there. Other than just spinning music. DJ Chunk is the shit, though, so I assume um, he's going to be cutting it up. Definitely worth checking that out just for DJ Chunk cutting it up alone. And Clownvis, obviously funny as hell. I don't know if Clownvis is performing his gimmick there or if he's saving that for a different full Clownvis set. This feels like it's one of those party things. So then they announced as well the Scrubs and Suds Foam to Your Dome party. The Scrubs and Suds Foam to Your Dome party with Shaggy the Airhead and fucking Devereaux. Shouts out to Devereaux for getting his own fucking party. That's dope as shit. Once again, midnight to 4 a.m. at the Love Rising stage. So yeah, obviously just, playing more music, I would assume. Hopefully there's actually foam and suds and it actually fits, lives up to the name, if you will. That would be pretty tight. We'll see. But, still no announcements other than these parties. There's not really been anything artist-wise announced other than ICP, and we must assume Ouija is going to be there. But yeah, it's starting to make me a little worried that, are we going to get kind of the bone here a little bit with some of the artists? I mean, regardless, it's going to be a fucking good time because, like they say, the real show is the Juggalos. Which I'm going to get into a little bit later when I talk about Lethal Weekend. Definitely some very entertaining Juggalo shit going on. Sorry, no vlog from Lethal Weekend, by the way. I'll get into that when I get into my Lethal Weekend shit. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about there's really been no announcements as far as the gathering. So I'm like sitting here wondering what the hell's going on with that, because you would think if they would want to sell tickets. This is a festival after all. That they do want to make some money, I would think, on this shit, other than the artists that are opening, paying them. You would think they would, be trying to promote this shit to some level. So to promote it, obviously, you would want to be advertising the artists that would be appearing at your festival. So I really feel like when they say this is for the chosen few, this is for the ones that are going to come. If it's just ICP, that's what I think what they're meaning when they say it's just for the chosen few at this point, because it might just be a psychopathic run event like one of these streams where it's just Ouija, Big Hoodoo, and maybe a few underground people. Starting to get that feeling. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it's a bit of a bigger affair and we get some bigger artists showing up, not just Vanilla Ice and Tone Loc and who is the other fucker on that tour. I can't remember, but not the 90s throwback rap tour. MC Hammer, was it MC Hammer on that tour where they announced that they were going to be there? So yeah, no infomercial. We don't know what's going on with the shit. I would really like to know what's going on with the artists. So the Clown Drip stage is the second stage. We know that Dog Beats is going to be on there. I forget which night that is. Dog Beats. We got the Bazaar show. Those are going to be great, but I'm just curious what the hell else is going on. They did. I mean, they. Someone did point out that ABK was asked. Someone asked ABK if he's going to the gathering, and he responded in a comment, I believe on Facebook, that he was not invited. So I think that pretty much confirms no ABK for the gathering, because he would assume be invited by this point. In other ICP news, crime YouTuber Deadbug Says is going to be directing an ICP video, he announced, on the streams, I think way back in October. Violent J was talking about Deadbug Says and being a fan of him and trying to get him to direct a music video. So it looks like that actually came through. So curious what am curious what that's going to be all about. Hopefully that means some yum bedlam shit is in the works, and hopefully we get a drop at the gathering. I'm still kind of holding out hope that we get a yum bedlam Joker card drop at the gathering. Kind of an outlandish thing to hope for, because I don't think they're going to really do it. But I'm holding out a little bit of hope. It'd be kind of dope if they did that. Attack of the Ninjas sold out, but, it was at a relatively small club, so it's not really a big surprise or anything. But sold out nonetheless. 20th anniversary of Dark Lotus, Tales from the Lotus Pod, the original version, on Saturday, which is really fucking dope. One of my favorite fucking ICP-related albums ever, really, because it's in that sweet era of Bizarre that I'm such a big fan of, and I kind of want to do a video talking about the Bizarre era, and just talking about like what it was like in that era, because I was such a big fan. That was like really a lot of the height of my early fandom was in that era, so it'd be fucking dope to talk about Bizarre sometime if some ninjas out there want to chop it up about Bizarre. Anyway, though, we're talking about Dark Lotus. That Dark Lotus album, man, I did not know. I mean, I kind of knew what to expect from it because we got little tastes of it, Drunken Ninja Master and shit back in the day. But when that shit came out, like, man, it was just so fucking dope. Like, it was just really, like, it was a lot funnier, I think, was the thing that surprised me the most about that album, is the amount of humor that was injected into the thing. Because I expected it to be all dark, mystical, dark magic shit, and it actually, voodoo, and it actually was a lot of humor. Like, for example, shouts out to Bakelow. I believe he was running the DJ mix on Saturday at Leathal Weekend. He dropped in Bitch I'm Sexy into the DJ mix, which that was fucking fresh as shit. All the Juggalos were fucking singing along to Bitch I'm Sexy, which was so dope. But we'll get into some more Lethal Weekend stuff in a second. But yeah, man, it just reminded me, oh shit, that's right, it's 20 years today that shit came out, because I had seen the posts earlier in the day. And yeah, it was fucking such a great album, man. I obviously am, I'm more of a fan of that original version. Shouts out to the ABK version though, because I have listened to that one, and it's its own thing. But I mean, I heard that other version first, so that's always going to be the one that I'm checking for the most. And oh yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about. So I bought that CD in stores at FYE in the mall in fucking Holyoke, Massachusetts. So that was like I didn't realize how rare that CD was going to be, but it was one of the only CDs that I held on to when I sold a lot of my psychopathic shit, my psychopathic CD and all my collection and shit, when I got out of this shit for a little while. And but I held on to Dark Lotus because it held a special place in my heart. I really liked that. I even sold Bizarre, but I still held on to that Dark Lotus motherfucker. And somewhere, I think at my dad's house, that fucking CD, just the CD case, though, is still there. I don't know what ever happened to the actual CD. So when I realized how expensive this motherfucker was when I got back into the ICP Juggalo collecting world, I was a little bit perturbed and discouraged, because I really wanted to get that shit back on CD. But the universe provides, and I scored 2 copies. I now own 2 copies of this motherfucker that I got both for very reasonable prices considering what these motherfuckers can go for. So just, a little word of advice in the collecting community. Just be patient sometimes. Sometimes you don't have to overspend to get your Holy Grail item, because that Dark Lotus Red Cross was my Holy Grail item for a while, because I didn't want to spend 50, $100 fucking dollars for the shit. So I ended up spending 25, $30, I think, for both of those copies. I think one for 25, one for 30. So that's not fucking bad. So yeah, hold out for some of your collector gimmicks. You might just run into them for cheaper than you would think. All right, real shout out to I should have put this at the top of the program, but I might have been muted anyway, so it doesn't matter. Bismarcky, rest in peace. One of rap's weirdos is gone again. Talked a little bit about this one. Shock G died, but yeah, Bismarcky is yet again an old school motherfucker who made it weird and made it cool to be weird, and that was always dope to me. Rest in peace, Biz. You're definitely missed over here. From a somber note to talking about some bullshit, and by bullshit I mean Space Jam. So I watched Space Jam on Friday, and it was fucking. It was something. It was something. I'll say that. I wrote some notes down while I was watching it, though, so I want to go through those notes. See what I did? I'm an old school Looney Tunes fan. Shouts out to my Daffy Duck cup. And this fucking thing was such a disappointment if you were going in for fucking Looney Tunes. If you were going in for fucking LeBron James, this was, oh boy, what a movie. And I'm sure there was a lot of fucking sweet sports jokes, that basketball jokes that went fucking flying over my head, because I don't watch basketball. So there's a portion of that movie, I don't have this in my notes, but there's a part of that movie where there's a bunch of basketball players talking, and I just am like, who are these motherfuckers? And I realized, oh, they're all very famous basketball players, and I have no idea who any of them are. But yeah, I just took some notes while I was watching the movie, so some things that struck me as amusing or infuriating, frankly. And I just want to go through them real quick, because, yeah, this movie was kind of a piece of trash, piece of shit. Yeah, it was not very good. I was really disappointed. So, right off the bat, the movie, it's a lot of LeBron. The whole movie is a lot of LeBron, and there's a scene in the beginning of the movie where LeBron's kids are playing basketball, and it's the whole thing where you have the one kid who's the very sports jockey one, which Kosuke let me know that that is kind of like a real life thing with LeBron. I guess he does have a kid who's hot prospect in basketball, if you will, and there's the nerdy kid who is all into video games and shit. So really quickly, I sussed out that this movie was going to be about, video games, and what's a cool game? What's a real game? What's the difference between difference between a video game and basketball, man? And it was a little bit of that, but frankly, it would have been better if it was as predictable as just that. So there's a scene where the nerdy kid, is trying to play basketball, and LeBron comes on the court, and watch for this if you are gonna rewatch this trash. LeBron is so mad at the kid for like playing basketball the wrong way. It's so fucking funny to me. LeBron seems to hate that kid. Dom is the kid's name in the movie. The nerdy kid. LeBron's goes into the kid's room in a scene after that, and his acting really is on display. And mwah, is LeBron a great actor? No, he's really not a good actor. If you can't sense my fucking sarcasm, this man is wooden as fuck when it comes to acting. Really bad. He's pretending to care about his kid, but he's once again coming off, because he's so wooden, as I don't give a fuck about this kid. He's showing him his video game that he's working on, and LeBron just, it's his he really just doesn't care about his kid, or hates his kid, which I think he hates his kid. Watching this movie, they go to an agent's office and they're explaining that blah blah blah. They need to get LeBron as I'm not really quite sure. There's some shit with Don Cheadle in this, something called the serververse, and he's an algae rhythm, and it's at this point I'm starting to realize, my God, how far are we into this movie and there's no fucking Looney Tunes yet? I came here for the fucking tunes. There's no tunes in this bitch. So yeah, it's like 14 minutes in when I realize that we're still not seeing any fucking cartoon action in this fucking cartoon movie. So LeBron is in the office with this agent guy, and they're showing a slideshow of different Warner Brothers properties that he could, I don't know, fucking co-opt or something. This whole fucking movie's all about co-opting properties. It's fucking weird. They almost made co-opting properties a meta statement in itself. It's fucking... what's my quote on it? It's a weird collection of intellectual property flexing. That's what this movie is. It's a collection of intellectual property flexing. This whole fucking movie. But yeah, infuriating this fucking movie. Anyway, so he's watching a collection of Warner Brother properties that are on the fucking screen, and Harry Potter stuff flashes on the screen, and his kid, it shows like legit delight on his face, like, oh, I love Harry Potter, you know? And LeBron looks at him like, ugh, Harry Potter, it's disgusting, this nerd kid of mine. And at that point, I'm like, dude, he fucking hates his kid. What's going on? So anyway, LeBron goes into the server verse. I don't even remember how. Don Cheadle tricks him into the fucking server verse, and he's falling through these different worlds, the Matrix world, and you know, you're realizing, oh my God, the server verse has all these worlds. He lands on Looney Tune World. And shouts out to my wifey Jessica. She pointed this out to me, that he lands in a Nike logo. Which is fucking... I wasn't paying attention to the point where I realized he landed in a Nike logo, but wow, what synergy. Fucking bullshit. At this point, we are now about 25 minutes into the movie, I would say, and it was fucking... I'm infuriated that we were a fucking quarter of the movie in, and no fucking tunes. Except for we now get LeBron in cartoon version. That's the first fucking cartoon we get, is LeBron James as a fucking cartoon. I was pissed, to say the least. Bugs Bunny finally shows up 27 minutes, almost to the dot in. This is a quarter into the fucking film, and the first Looney Tune we get is Bugs Bunny. And I'm starting to realize why they fucking didn't have the tunes in. I don't know why they did this, but the voice acting in this fucking movie is horrible. I looked it up, and they had 3 actors doing the bulk of the work. And I think that's the reason it sucks, because they didn't get anybody who was really good at any of the voices. Why the fuck not give this to Billy West is my big question. At least Bugs. At least make sure your Bugs Bunny sounds right. He did not sound like Bugs Bunny. It was a bad impression of Bugs Bunny. And all of them didn't sound right. The only one that kind of sounded right to me was goddamn Marvin the Martian. Weirdly sounded okay to me. I didn't notice, that didn't stick out as being, he doesn't sound like Marvin the Martian to me. And maybe Granny or something, who is such a weird side character. Who fucking really even remembers what Granny sounds like? And you know, tons of cringy ass shit with Granny from the trailers. Yeah, I did not like this movie very much. And I like Looney Tunes, and there is some wacky stuff where they're just like being cartoons, and like they're trying to play basketball in their own toony way. And there's a few jokes that landed for me, but for the most part I did not like it. We got some in the chat. Humble the Orcs, we want the ring. See, is a def in the chat. Humble, we want you to our new leader of the Orcs. We want the ring. I think he's saying we want you to be our new leader of the Orcs. We want the ring. Now, I don't know that much about Lord of the Rings. The Orcs are the weird demon-looking motherfuckers, right? So I guess the joke is that I look like one of those demon motherfuckers, which I guess is sick, cool. Um, but I don't. The orcs want the ring. I don't know, man. I tried to watch those Lord of the Rings movies a couple of different times, to be honest with you, and they're just so fucking boring to me. I like in Clerks 2 when Kevin Smith says that it's just the Lord of the Rings movies are this, and he does the whole thing where it's just walking, and then drop it in and turn around and walk. That's basically what I feel like those movies are, with a lot of weird uh, elf politics. I don't know what are those movies about. Elf politics. I just assume they're all about elf politics. Shouts out to elf politics, though. I'm sure it's quite complex. Ooh, we got another one. No, man, I didn't mean that. Well, what did you mean, man? Oh, man. All right. So back to my Space Jam ramblings. Um, what's that with my Space Jam bullshit? Bugs Bunny, 27 minutes in, yeah. LeBron suddenly was excited for Harry Potter when they actually, like, go to Harry Potter land. Like, or they mention they're about to go, which fucking baffled me because remember earlier I was saying he was disgusted when Dawn was excited. So why is this motherfucker suddenly excited to go to Harry Potter land if he was disgusted? I'm confused with this movie. Maybe he doesn't hate his kid. I don't know. I don't know. I think he hates his kid though. I think that's what's going on in this movie. Um, the voice I have them in the notes. The voices are off. It's really off. Weird collection of intellectual property flexing. The Seververse. I wrote that down to remember what the fucking lame universe. Gathering parties. I talked about that earlier. Yes. I want more announcements though. Check out earlier in the vid. I definitely talked about that. Um, the Porky Pig rap with this shit though. Um, that was the height of the cringe, I think, for me. The whole thing caps off with a basketball game at the end. Whoop whoop cherry pie. The whole thing caps off with a basketball game at the end where they have a lot of people in cosplay attempting to look like people from film. The funniest thing to me is that the Droogs from Clockwork Orange are amongst them. And weirdly, two penguins. They have like the death scene penguin from Batman Returns where he's all fat and bloated in his goddamn his nighttime outfit almost, where he's like about to die in the water. He's in that outfit, and then there's like 60s Batman penguin repping in there too. So whoever made this movie, obviously a big penguin mark because two penguins right on there, but also like a couple of weird hodgepodge jokers in there, like maybe somebody didn't follow instruction with their cosplay bullshit. Not that it's bullshit, but you know their instructions. Yeah, that was entertaining. I basically was during the basketball game just looking for stuff in the background of like trying to see what cartoons I could notice and be like, oh look at King Kong. He didn't like that King Kong ain't got nothing on me line. Huh, that's funny. That's about the level of humor you get in the Space Jam movie. But you know, it was something to watch on a Friday night. What the fuck can I ask for, I guess? Something entertaining, some actual jokes. I do want to say, though, that the thought occurred to me if you ever watch any of the old Looney Tune movies that they would do back in like the 60s and 70s, that were like these weird narratives that were excuses to sort of weave in different moments from classic Looney Tune cartoons. And it would be like one of those things where it would be like 70, this movie is 40% new footage or some shit like that. It reminded me of one of those movies, strangely, because it was Warner Brothers basically taking that concept of one of those type of movies and applying all of their weird intellectual property, especially when they got into the shit where like Granny's in the Matrix world and all that kind of shit. Anyway, that's my thoughts on fucking Space Jam. Very pissed off about the voices. Very pissed off about the lack of humor. Very pissed off about all the fucking LeBron James. I guess if you're a LeBron James fan, maybe this movie fucking rules. It's hard for me to tell because I'm not a LeBron. Yes. I'm about to talk about that, sir. Humble, did you perform this weekend? I am late. or are you waiting? You are late, and I am waiting. But I haven't talked about it yet, and I did perform this weekend. I'm about to talk about it. That's my next subject. After I talk about this, which is just some bullshit, I just want to really quickly talk about some other stuff that I've been watching, because I mentioned a couple streams ago about TV shows that I wanted to watch. See, my Daffy Duck is a deaf. You like the Daffy Duck cup? Anyway, I've been watching the Watchmen TV show, the HBO show. I'm now on episode 4, so congratulations to me. I've made it well past episode 1. Now, gonna watch episode 5 tonight, maybe, if I don't watch a horror movie. I'm kind of thinking I might watch Brian De Palma's Body Double. Who knows? Might play some Switch. I was playing the Switch last night, guys. I'm doing all kinds of weird shit I don't usually do. Playing video games? What the fuck? Might even fuck around and plug this motherfucker in and start streaming some video games and shit. You never know. I was playing a little bit of Mario 64 on Super Mario All-Stars, by the way. Shout out to that collection. You can't get the physical. I got the physical. What's up? I was playing a little bit of Dead Cells, which is a video game I downloaded fucking like 2 years ago or something at this point, and pretty cool game. I kind of feel stupid though, because I kept getting caught on like little areas where I'm like, I definitely am supposed to do something to get there, but I don't know how the fuck I get there. But really cool game from what I've played so far. I think I'm gonna try more, and I think what I had to do is maybe get the shield gimmick, because I kind of was leaving the shield on the ground and not fucking with that at all. I think I'm gonna have to get that shield, and maybe that's gonna be my key to do something, to maybe bounce off of something or open up a wall, something. There's something I'm missing there. So yeah, talked about the Watchmen show. That's a really cool show. Not quite sure where they're going with it, but I definitely appreciate some of the stuff they're doing in that show as a fan of the comic book and, you know, Alan Moore, and even the fucking Zack Snyder movie. I'm a fan of that shit. So, but a huge fan of the graphic novel, huge fan of Alan Moore. Check the comic book collection in the back. I've read most of those. Some of that mixed in I haven't read, but I've read most of that bullshit behind me. It's not bullshit. I keep calling stuff bullshit that I don't think is bullshit. I finished Harley Quinn season 2. That was really fucking awesome. If you're not watching Harley Quinn season 2, check that shit out. It's really fucking dope. HBO show. They just put out the Blu-ray for seasons 1 and 2. Season 3 is being worked on. If you didn't see the news story, they were I'm doing weird dancing. If you didn't see the news story, they had a whole fucking ordeal where they were trying to get Batman to eat out Catwoman, to eat Catwoman's kitty, if you will. And DC was like, no, heroes don't do that. Now that's hilarious, that heroes don't eat the kitty. I'm a little sad. I think they pulled back on that, and hopefully in season 3 we do get Batman eating the kitty, if you will. But check out Harley Quinn season 2. It's not what you would expect. It's nothing like the movies. Well, it's a little bit like the movie, but it's actually way funnier than the movie. It hits the right hard rated R tone. Lots of gore, lots of violence, lots of fucking straight up, you know, hard sexual jokes and shit. Don't want to spoil anything, but season 2 has a pretty crazy twist to it. Is it a twist? Motherfuckers might be expecting the shit. I don't want to spoil the shit though. Check it out though. Really fucking dope show, and a lot of really funny voice actors. Ron Funches plays King Shark. I think we just found out Jason Alexander is a cyborgman, a cyborg Jewish man in a wheelchair. Speaking of Jewish men, in the last episode, motherfucker was trying to get me canceled asking about my hair dye. Psycho C, was that Psycho C that was asking about my hair dye? I remembered my hair dye. It's called Iro. That's my hair dye. Shout out Iro. Also, I've been watching Creepshow season 2. I was just watching a little bit of that before I got on the stream, actually. Episode 4. So yeah, fucking, that's a cool show. A little bit hit or miss. I will say, episode 1 of season 2, the second segment, the one that's the public television shout out to Evil Dead thing that they did. That's the best episode of Creepshow I've seen this whole time. What a great episode that was. That's fantastic. And also, I've been watching King of the Hill again. We've been very slowly picking through King of the Hill for fucking last year and a half, 2 years, or fucking maybe even a little bit longer than that. We're on season 7 now. I'm a huge Beavis and Butthead fan, huge Mike Judge fan, huge animation fan if you haven't been able to tell, because a lot of the shows that I've been talking about is straight up animation stuff. Get on the Last Drive-In, dog. If I could get on the Last Drive-In, like, I don't even know what I would do. I would probably be so I probably would just be so nerding out or awkward. I don't know. That would be like a fucking dream come true to me. In case you guys didn't know, this is a good segue, by the way. Shout outs to Hey Guy in the chat for the Get on the Last Drive-In comment. Good segue into Leathal Weekend, because if you didn't know, I was rocking my motherfucking Last Drive-In shirt at Leathal Weekend. So thank you for that segue, Hey Guy. That's a perfect way to segue out of me rambling about Mike Judge for fucking another 2 minutes. So Leathal Weekend 4 was this weekend. I performed night 2. I had to miss night 1. This really bummed me out because Isham was performing, and I fucking love Isham to death. And apparently Isham was just chilling like a motherfucker. People were just getting pictures with him. Shayna got a picture with him, I saw. Shouts out to Shayna. Oh, dog, yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, of course I'm watching it, dog. But thank you for the segue nonetheless. I love The Last Drive-In. It's like one of my favorite things on TV, streaming, period. But yes, I'm definitely watching it, man. I'm honestly, like, really bummed the fucking season stopped, because it was like, dude, that was like my fucking shit. That was like my shit this whole summer. Was just chilling hard as fuck, staying up late. I don't drink anymore, so I can stay up late really fucking easy now. Don't have that fucking booze holding me down, but dude, like, oh, I'm missing it, man. I'm really hoping for a summer special. It was actually killing me. I couldn't be at the Joe Bob's Jamboree thing this past weekend. I really wanted to go to that, but I had to perform at Leathal Weekend, man. I couldn't let this opportunity go by. So I missed night 1 because I had some stuff I had to get, in order to go perform for Leathal Weekend. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I kind of helped taking care with my dad a little bit here and there. My dad's partially disabled, so I kind of help with taking care of him. So I had to make sure he was all sorted out and had his groceries and would be good for the weekend if I was gone for the whole fucking day and night and shit. So I had to do that on Friday and make sure everything was sorted. I had to rehearse a little bit with Kosuke, make sure we were all good there. My homie Kosuke rolled with me and did some hype man duties and actually performed a song with me. Shouts out to fucking Kosuke for doing that, man. I really appreciate it. But we'll get into that in a little bit. So I rolled out there with Kosuke and my wifey Jessica. Jessica was not feeling good for a lot of this show. She has pressure headaches, I guess you could say, over the past week, but she really wanted to come out and support, so she came out nonetheless, with even being miserable and wanting to sleep in the back of my car pretty much for the whole fucking time, but she was there supporting nonetheless. So as artists, we were told that we have to the opening artists, if you will, we were told we had to show up there. This is going to kind of be a recap, just a little insight. This is going to be a little recap and insight into what it's like to be like an opening artist on one of these type of shows. That's kind of what I'm going for with this whole recap and notes thing. And I'm going to kind of be try to be as objective as possible with this. That's what my goal is with this. Just trying to be straightforward with this shit. So yeah, I missed night 1. Wanted to see Isham real bad, but like I said, had responsibilities. We were all told we had to be there at 3 o'clock to check in. So that's what I did. I showed up at 3 o'clock, knowing full well going to these rap shows, and the doors didn't open till 5 o'clock. Let me just say that. So knowing I'm there 2 hours early, okay, that's a ploy that the promoters do to get the fucking rappers to just show the fuck up and be ready. Like, and tell them to show up 2 hours early, and hopefully they show on time, which is that's cool. But so I show up early, and everyone's in the parking lot, and doors aren't even open, which I'm like pretty much expected. Not a big fucking deal. Didn't really care. Just chilling with Kosuke. Was talking a little bit with the NEK crew, Casket, Misty Rain, Ermac, Pain, Verbal Assault, Genocide Gino, which we'll talk about a little bit later. All those motherfuckers were and many more opening acts were in the parking lot chilling. Talked to a few of them folks. Took a group pic with Casket and Misty Rain and everybody. They were nice enough to want to be like, everybody in for a group pic, which was really fucking fresh of them. Shouts out to them for doing something really cool like that. It was really cool to capture that weird moment of just all being in this parking lot together. I thought it was dope though. So we didn't even get lined up to go in till about 5. And they had the artists all line up to go in first, and they were letting people in one by one, which I'm still not quite sure why they were doing that. To me, it made no sense to let us in one by one, especially once we got inside and we realized that something was off. There was a little bit of a weird vibe in there. I know that. I'll just say that for sure. The vibes were a little weird. Um, oh, and I want to mention while we were lined up outside, Mankini showed up, and there was a funny moment where I noticed Mankini's top was hanging out the back of his shirt, like his little his bikini top tied in the back, hanging out the back of his t-shirt. And so I had to ask him, I'm like, yo, you rocking the bikini under there? And he's like, of course, man, you got to roll up. That was dope. Shouts out to Mankini. Always a pleasure to see that dude. That dude's just he just puts a smile on my face every time I see that dude. There's something about that dude is his energy is infectious. He always brings positive energy wherever he's around. Shouts out to Mankini. I really like that dude a lot. I need to talk to him more. I've had several weird interactions with him now, and I was in a weird mood at this show. I think the vibes were throwing me off when I got in, so I wasn't as talkative as I normally would have been, especially once I got inside and felt some of the weird vibes that were in there. So basically, what had happened, like Mankini from the soup. Is there a Mankini? Oh my god, dude! I haven't thought about the Mankini from the soup in a second, dude. That is a reference to the soup. Shouts out the Hey Guy in the chat for low-key blowing my mind right now. Fuck. Yo, dude. Yeah, it is like Mankini from the soup. For sure. Wow, man, you just blew my mind. But yeah, different Mankini, not the one from the soup. Boom. The fucking Tim and Eric meme. Um, so I get inside, right? Oh, and I got to shout out my homie Mitchell, because Mitchell this whole time was warning me about how the night before went and how everything kind of started late, and maybe you don't have to show up as early as I was trying to show up. Shouts out to Mitchell, because he was fucking right. So we get in there, and so the night before it was Lil Easy E, Esham, who the fuck else? A couple of, fucking, who's the headliner? Flesh and Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony. And I guess during the Bone stuff, they blew the PA. Now, I see them scrambling, moving speakers. Before I even know that they blew, that's what happened. I see them moving speakers. As soon as I come in, I'm like, why are they setting up a PA? This is a show this is a club. So I'm thinking that immediately out the gate. And yeah, I can pick up on some weird vibes, definitely coming off of Fury, the promoter. Shouts out to Fury for having us out, by the way. It was an honor to rock the shit. It was a fucking great time for me. But yeah, I could tell that dude was stressed. And yeah, I could tell there's just some weird energy. Start to realize, like, okay, what's going on with the PA, and start to realize, oh shit, they actually did do that second stage thing, which I thought was going to be a maybe thing. So there was a second stage behind the main stage, kind of tucked away, this hallway that went around it. And I guess they were going to try to have some artists on this second stage, which I don't know what's the logic of doing that at such a small club, but they were going to do it nonetheless. But they had to take the PA from the second stage to put it on the main stage. So basically what ended up happening is they have to combine all the acts now to one stage, which apparently meant everybody's going to have to cut some time. It started out, everybody's got to cut 5 minutes, which frankly, I'm not sure if a lot of artists did cut their 5 minutes. I think a lot of artists didn't get that message and just did their 15 minutes anyway. But I had to cut my song Rabbit Hole, which was the fucking bone, because I really wanted to perform that song. It's a new song I just dropped, but it's almost perfectly 4 minutes and some change long, and it made my set just over 10 minutes. So I was trying to play ball, trying to be a team player, you know. But I don't think a lot of these artists cut their set short. There was definitely a couple of them that were doing 15-minute sets. Nonetheless, the show went off late. It definitely started late. I don't know. I don't have in my notes when the acts actually started, but doors didn't open at 5 o'clock. Doors opened more, I think, 6:30, 7-ish, and stuff popped off right out the gate when doors opened. They had an artist up there basically performing as people were filing in because they were crunched for time, as I'm going to go into the more we talk about this. So PA was blown from night one. They had to get it from the second stage. Combined everybody. Everybody cut 5 minutes. I got to talk about Bakelow a little bit. Bakelow was fucking holding it down this whole show. DJing basically the whole show. For at least the opening portion of it. And it's a lot of stuff that he was dealing with this whole having to cut sets. And a lot of artists still hadn't even submitted their sets, it seems. So there was a lot of confusion, and but Bakelow handled it like a gentleman. Seemed to be very composed the entire time. So shouts out to Bakelow. He was really dope. There was a really funny part right before I went on stage. I don't think I'm going to remember to say this when I get to that point. But right before I went on stage, Bakelow saw us backstage, and he came up and he's like, "You're on next." I'm like, "Yeah, that's why I'm here." I'm like, no, you're on next. I can't thank you. And he like shook my hand. He was so happy that they didn't have to wrangle somebody. And I'm like, "Yeah, I've been checking in to see when I perform." Anyway, but that was really funny and dope. Really liked Bakelow's set too, by the way. That dude's a class fucking act. Before that, or before I went on stage, we're going back to Bakelow setting up my set, and us all trying to figure out what's going on, and a lot of anxiety floating around. And I'm a very anxious person as it is, so I was picking up on a lot of that secondary anxiety. Those vibes were definitely wearing off on me, and definitely caused me to be a little bit in my shell for this show. And I apologize for that if I seemed a little bit distant. I definitely was feeling a little bit distant at this show. I thank God I had my homie Kosuke with me to sort of be an anchor and just have someone with me, because I don't know what I would have been acting like if it was just me at this show. I definitely would have been even weirder than I usually am at these things, and I'm already pretty fucking weird at these things, I feel like. Maybe not. Maybe that's just in my head. Probably isn't just my head. Met a guy who I'm familiar with because we share a similar rap name, Humble Lunatic. I met another Humble. There's another Humble in Vermont, actually, called MC Humble, who lives up north. Shouts out to MC Humble. I'm down with all these Humbles. We can all be humble, man. I'm not greedy with my humble shit. So I went up to Humble Lunatic and introduced myself. He's a really nice fella. Shouts out to Humble Lunatic. So they basically had the first guy go on his like sound check, which was kind of interesting. His first song was basically an experiment to see if we can get the levels right. People were basically just coming in right out the gate. But they had to do something, man. They were in a fucking tough spot. Everybody on this show was in a tough spot because they had to combine a lot of people who were supposed to perform, and that's going to become evident as we go on about this a little bit further. There was a guy who opened. I really wish I took the names down of everybody for this show, but I didn't catch everybody's name. I wish I caught this guy's name. If anybody knows this guy's name, let me know what this guy's artist name. But there was an opener. I think he was the second opener, second or third opener, who went on, and he had an album about his dog. Now this guy had a little Dachshund, I assume an emotional support animal, because he had a song about how the dog saved his life, and he performed another song right after that about how he loved his dog so damn much. And Most people probably would assume it's a little hokey or something, but I thought it was fucking adorable and the kind of weird, charming shit that I just love about rap music, and especially going to these underground shows, seeing these weird, sort of charming acts. And yeah, he had written a whole album about his little Dachshund, who was an adorable little dog, by the way. And yeah, I just thought that was dope, man. I'm looking when I'm going to these shows, I'm looking for anything that's different, man, because there's a lot of the same shit you see, you know. So that was really fucking dope to see. Shouts out to all the fucking artists though, because everybody has their own fucking lane, and I feel like everybody was different. I'm just not gonna remember all of y'all to talk about all of y'all, and honestly, I'm not sure if you want me to talk about all of y'all. So yeah, then there was a guy who came on. I didn't catch his name, but something was going on. He had a DJ that was playing with his set. And something was going on with the audio with the DJ is what I must assume happened here. I thought the entire fucking low end blew out the whole system for a second. And I was like, oh my god, this show is fucked. We are fucked. But I think something with the DJ system, the low end wasn't coming through because it was just high end. It was all, I thought literally the fucking, like, the woofers and all the speakers were gone. Like, not just the sub, I thought everything was fucking gone. Because it was like you couldn't hear any drums. Something weird was going on with his set, and I felt really bad for this dude. He definitely kind of got the bone because of that audio issue, and I don't know who to blame, if it was his DJ or the sound person's fault. But after that, Fury was definitely feeling the fury, and kind of let the sound people and some of the vendors know, yeah, just get the shit right, because there was already a bit of a fucking thing to even get this PA set up. It was already becoming an ordeal, and I mean, shouts out to everybody. Everybody was just trying to do their best, and I tried to be a beacon of positivity. I was backstage at one point, just almost chanting positivity, but you know, at a certain point, I realized I become a bit of an annoyance with my positivity bullshit, so I kind of backed off. Yeah, and I realized that it was partially my anxiety feeding into me wanting to make the situation better with my positivity bullshit. So I backed off and yeah, just relaxed and just let people do their fucking job. Let's see, where was I? Fury got mad at the sound people. That's where I was. Yeah, so that was something else. Something. I mean, I'll have to say though, after he got mad at the sound people, the shit was a lot better. I don't know if screaming on people sometimes works. Sometimes I don't know. I do have to say, security at this show was really chill for the most part. There was one dude, actually two dudes that were really fuck it. All those security dudes that we interacted with were really fucking dope. One of them gave me a shout out for gave me actually dapped me up, a little pound action for performing. He liked my set, so that was cool. Yeah, the security there was really dope. Except there was this one dude who I think might have been an owner, who had a sleeveless cutoff gimmick, like a denim sleeveless cutoff shirt. Shouts out to you, dude, if you're watching this for some reason, because I'm gonna tell a little hilarious story. We were outside, waiting to go on, waiting for just to find something out. And my homie Kosuke, who was my hype man and performed with me, his sister is into herbal medicine. She actually has her own little side business that she's doing, Green Mountain Mama, I believe it's called. Follow them on Instagram for your herbal needs. And I'm not being cheeky. I'm actually talking about real, like, herbal mixes, like not just being cheeky with weed or some shit. You know what I mean? So my homie Kosuke, you know, he practices some of this herbal medicine stuff, and his girlfriend Grace had shown up by this point. Shouts out to Grace, coming through and fucking yelling. Always appreciate that yell on that girl. Fucking, she definitely made that crowd lit for us. I really appreciate that. Kosuke and Grace were smoking a lavender joint, and sleeveless owner security guy was like, "Hey, you, no," and like had this whole weird interaction where he's yelling at the security. He's like, "If he's not gonna respect my outside, he's not gonna respect my inside." And Kosuke was just gonna fucking like Kosuke thought that he was gonna get thrown out because he's like, I want him out of here or some shit, and Kosuke was really worried that he was gonna get thrown out. The security guy's just like, and Kosuke's sitting there being like, it's lavender, it's lavender, it's lavender, it's holding it. Oh, it was so fucking great because he was being honest. It really was lavender. It wasn't some bullshit, but realizing in the moment that how that sounds to a guy who's already heated about us, what looks like us smoking weed, uh the shit was too funny to me. It was just perfect kind of moment that I wish I had on vlog, but due to the weird vibes that were in there and realizing, hey, I'm kind of here to just perform, maybe I shouldn't be vlogging some of this stuff, I didn't vlog, which I kind of regret because definitely later on there were some moments I wish I would have captured, but we're going to get to that here in a second. So yeah, stuff is going off, people are performing now, and the show is sounding better. Let's see, where was I? Once again, shouts out to NEK. They were holding it down the whole night. Definitely rolled in deep there. Excuse me. Oh, there was a lady there with really dope Yum Yum Bedlam makeup. One of the only times I broke out of my little shell of anxiety and weird vibes. I actually had to give her props real quick when I was going inside at one point because her makeup was on point. Twisted Nin Juggalo in the chat. What's up? Just watched one of your old Gathering of the Juggalo videos. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And I think I just saw you subscribe on my shit as well on my phone here where I'm reading my notes. So thank you as well. I really appreciate the sub and the views. So yeah, thanks for watching and subbing, man. If you're not subbed to the Humble Among YouTube channel, please do that right now. We're almost an hour into this bitch, guys, and I'm still going on. Can you believe it? I didn't think I had enough material for a show this week. Boy, was I wrong. All right, so I said what's up to Yum Yum Bedlam makeup lady. She had really fresh makeup done up, and like the petals were like sticking out of her hair, like an accessory almost. It was really fucking dope. I'm sure you can find some pictures of her. Didn't take any selfies with anybody either because I was in my fucking, except for Shayna. Shayna made me take a selfie with her, so there is a selfie with Shayna that I took. Shouts out to Shayna. Met her at the show. Big supporter of the Gathering YouTube stuff I've done. And apparently big supporter of my music. She seemed to really dig my set. So yeah, shouts out to her. I noticed, let's see. Did I pass my shit? So at this point, I'm about to go on stage. Okay, that's where I'm up to the point where I'm going to go on stage. So I was told when I first showed up I was going on 4th, which I was like, it's kind of early. But it ended up happening. I went because they combined stages and stuff. I ended up getting pushed to like 7th, 8th, 9th or something. So it was actually a lot better for me because I went on right about 8 o'clock, I think. 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. Was it 8 o'clock? I think it was right around 8 o'clock. So went backstage. Bakelow was like, oh my God, you're on next, which was really hilarious. Was definitely feeling the nerves. Dropped down, did some push-ups real quick, hulked up real quick. That's my little ritual for performing. I like to drop and do, I did 30 push-ups this time. So yeah, that got me feeling, just physically work through some of the nerves. That always makes me feel a little bit better. Casket could tell I was nervous and was like, yo, I can see the nerves on your face. Gave me a bit of a like, yeah, yo, you can kill it. Really appreciate him just being a nice guy. Definitely Casket's a really nice dude. I always appreciate nice people because there is a lot of like standoffishness and offishness and like people kind of looking at crews like, oh, what's up with this crew? But like at a Juggalo show, it seems a lot more chill. This was my first Juggalo show I've ever performed at, by the way. So this is like this was a big deal for me. I'll just say that. Definitely a big deal for me. I've only really performed at local hip hop shows And really, when I started, I was doing metal and punk shows when I first started rapping, and they hated me. They hated me, hated me, hated me. So it really taught me to sort of on edge and sort of not trusting a lot of the people I was playing with. So being at this show and everybody being so nice was such a breath of fresh air, and I wish I would have stepped out of my shell a little bit more, but what can you do? Social anxiety and not trusting people a lot of times. I'm still working through a lot of my bullshit, guys. But shouts out to the people who did come up to me. I really appreciate that. But anyway, let's talk about the performance. So I went up on stage and someone came up to me right as I grabbed the mic, and I don't know who this was. I think they worked for the thing. I never saw them before. I never saw them before or after they said this to me. So they might have been a ghost or a figment of my imagination. But they said to me, don't step too close to the monitors. This mic's feedbacking really bad, which at that point I hadn't noticed the mic feedbacking. But as soon as I grab the mic feedbacks like I'm a goddamn demon or something, and I'm just some unholy creature that just is about to start speaking. And, you know, it's reacting to me. I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. So I have to sort of, you know, be very careful with the mic, which caused me to kind of be calm as fuck on stage for a lot of my performance until Kosuke's part where I kind of fucking wild out. So I did, we did 4 songs. We were supposed to do 5. I did Strictly Wicked to open, which was a new song, probably going to be on Halloween Tape 4. I did Prison Pit, which is a song from Fear of a Whack Planet, produced by Devereaux, and I did Population Control, which is another song from Fear of a Whack Planet, produced by Bad Mind. And then we closed it out with Kosuke's new song, PSA. And before that, we were supposed to do Rabbit Hole, but like I said, we had to cut Rabbit Hole, which is really unfortunate because I wanted to do that song very badly. Mic levels were a little weird, a little low. I had someone say afterwards that they should have turned my mic up. I didn't notice that on stage. To me, the levels seemed okay on the monitors, but looking back at some of the video stuff, it did seem my shit was a little bit low. I could hear myself, but it did seem a little bit low. But I mean, there's more of that for other people. So I mean, what are you gonna do? It was a good set overall. I had a good reaction. Probably one of my better shows, maybe my best show ever. I really had a good time. I was really happy with it. Very happy with how my spot landed. There was a lot of people in there. It was starting to get pretty packed in there. Off. So yeah, shouts out to you if you were watching my set. I really appreciate it. And shouts out to the people who came up to me afterward, because I had quite a few people coming up to us and yeah, giving us props, and that was really dope. So shouts out to everybody who gave us props. So yeah, let's see. Shouts out to the little girl who was actually rocking out during my set. There was a point where I opened my eyes and there's this little girl like front row and dead center basically with her mom, I saw her earlier walking around with headphones on, and she's just rocking out during our stuff. That was really cool to see, especially with me about to drop a kids album. That was really dope to see. Shouts out to Shayna, who took a picture with me right off a stage. That was dope. We went outside to get some fresh air real quick because I was fucking sweating. Kosuke said he almost puked on stage doing his part. There's this part where he was going stupid fast, and he said he almost puked on stage. And yeah, I kind of wish he did, because that would have been some metal ass shit if he was puking on stage like fucking Slipknot or something. So yeah, we went outside, came back in, because I wanted to catch as many of these acts as I could. Let's see. I have a couple of people that really super impressed me. First of all, Genocide Gino, who I believe any K crew in Casket, who I had met outside, and Casket told me he was trying to open for Puya outside. There's a Puya show in Massachusetts that he was trying to open for. And I was like, oh shit, that's what's up. I'm a big Puya fan, so that definitely got my attention. And we talked about Puya a little bit. But little did I know that Genocide Gino was going to come out and just straight wreck the place, because that motherfucker, in my opinion, probably the best performance of the night. Maybe even over Ouija and Shaggy and shit, man. That guy really fucking killed it. Also, this group, I think it was a group, or maybe one of the guys was called Black Mass, but there was 2 dudes up there called Black Mass, I think. I could have that wrong. but they were really fucking dope too, and they ended their set with a Stone Cold song and a legit Stone Cold Stunner that looked legit as fuck on stage. So that was really dope to kind of tie in the wrestling angle of Lethal Weekend with that. And there was another guy named the Death Raver who Mitchell actually was telling me about earlier in the night, and this guy was really interesting, man. He had like a really fucking interesting look about him, like shaved head and like dreadlocks look, and like a painted day glow slash black light type of face thing going on, like a clown face paint thing going on. And his music was very dubsteppy, ravey club shit, but like he was kind of doing like metal, like singing shit over it. It was really fresh. I really liked the Death Raver. I thought he was saying he was the Death Reaper for a while, but I had to ask Mitchell because I couldn't find him online. But he's the Death Raver. um, so at this point, we got a lot of openers going on, and it's starting to get pretty late. It's like 11 o'clock, and openers are still happening. Kosuke, who really wanted to see Ouija and actually ended up buying a Ouija shirt. Who I guess I'm kind of slow. I'm slowly turning this kid into a fucking juggalo, y'all. Because there was a point in the show where I've said about these juggalo events that to him personally, I've said, I don't even know if I've said this on the stream, but straight up when I'm at these type of events, I have moments of clarity almost where I'm just like, man, this is where I belong, man. I just like, these people won't judge me for being weird. I don't feel like anyone's looking at me like I'm a weirdo. Like, it's one of the only places where I can feel comfortable and like a little bit fucking relaxed. And Kosuke was saying he was picking up on, which is really cool because I definitely wasn't picking up on those vibes at this show the whole time. There's definitely moments when I was, but I don't know. I was in my shell. Which sucks, man, because I wanted to talk to some more people, or I wanted to talk to a lot of y'all that was just being a little baby, I guess. I don't know what was going on with me. Anyway. So openers were still going on at 11 p.m. though. Ooh, in the chat. Dropping the spicy topic in the chat. We'll touch on it. Fuck it. What's the deal with Twisted and ICP competing against each other? I'm curious as to why the ICP family is splintering. And are you going to the festivals this year? Well, I'll answer the first one first. Or the first one first. No, the second one first. That's what I'm going to answer first. Minimize that. So yeah, I am going to... What in the fuck, man? I can't get my shit right tonight. So I am going to the Gathering. I'm not going to Attack of the Ninjas / Astro because I'm fucking gathering. And like I've talked about on my Twisted Needs to Let It Go video on my channel, go check that out. A lot of the Twisted stuff, especially with Eastside Ninjas, has very turned me off to Twisted's music lately, man. I'm a fan of Twisted's music, but I can't bring myself to listen to the shit lately, especially with the Outshine diss, which is unfortunate because I'm a fan. That's why I made the Twisted Needs to Let It Go video, because honestly, as a fan, they need to let it go because I need to enjoy this shit. And I think the only way they're going to get growth is if they do let it go. As far as what's the deal with ICP and Twisted, I don't think they're competing. I think Twisted maybe is competing. But ICP is not competing with anybody except for themselves, I would say. ICP is competing against their past at this point. That's all. The only thing ICP can compete against is themselves. They've already done shit. I mean, what's the fucking secret song in Bazaar, man? Like everything else that do. ICP is not competing against Twisted. If you believe Jump Steady, they didn't book Gathering to compete with Attack of the Ninjas / Astro. That's up to you to believe. I think Jump Steady's a pretty straight up dude though, and I don't know if Jump Steady would lie about the shit, but hey, that's just me. As far as the family splintering, the ICP family isn't splintering. I think the ICP family is growing. I think there's new jugs that are coming into this shit and breathing new life into this shit. I think there's a new era of positivity brewing that just might bloom or come out of the cocoon, if you will, at this gathering. I think I'm here for the positivity. I'm here for the love. I'm here for that hippie juggalo shit, man. So yeah, I'm not about the beef or any of that stuff. I want them to get back together and be homies again. I want more Dark Lotus. Violent J says that shit ain't happening though, so yeah, just give it time. Um, I'm not gonna force the issue though, for sure. But yeah, that's my little update, I guess, on some of my thoughts about this twisted shit. So yeah, back to Lethal Weekend. Um, 11 o'clock, opening acts, still going on. Kosuke had to bounce. He really wanted to see Ouija. Bought a Ouija shirt. Um, really wanted to see Ouija. I think he was bummed that the stuff was still in the opening phases of it. But understandable. We had to drive an hour and a half to get there. I don't think he had eaten anything that day. I hadn't eaten anything that day. I only had water and small pieces of paper. But that's the only thing I ate all day. I didn't eat any actual food all fucking day. I was just eating paper. I was just eating like flyers and any pieces of paper that I could get my hands on, and water. That's all I had all day. So I was fucking. That maybe was part of the reason I was a little bit weird and in my shell. Now that I'm thinking about it more, that would make sense. Probably should have gotten some food earlier in the day, but I didn't want to miss my slot. So we were sitting there waiting to not miss our slot. Anyway, 11 o'clock, opening acts, still going on. The crowd's starting to get a little unruly at this point. And honestly, I think some people were getting their sets cut even shorter. I think some acts were opting to just do one song. I believe there was a situation where actually I believe it was Humble Lunatic's homie. They kind of like combined sets, and I think only each did one song or something. Which, shouts out to them for actually like being good dudes and like figuring out a way to speed this thing up, but still getting their shit. That is a copy of Johnny the Homicidal Maniac behind me. I am a huge fucking fan. Yes, I'm a huge fan of Mr. Vasquez. Invader Zim, Squee, all that shit. Johnny's my shit. Yeah, I've been a fan of that shit since high school, man. That's some old school shit for me. And you know what? Ask more questions. Hey, guy in the chat. Don't feel like you gotta stop asking questions. I like it when you ask questions. So that doesn't have to be your last question. You can ask more questions. How you like that? How you like them apples? Hey, guy. Hey, guy. How you like them? Okay, I'm done. Um, so, yeah. So, some sets were cut short. Some weren't. I'll just say that. Maybe some that should have been cut short went long. I'll just say that. But finally, the main portion of the show started around midnight, with like Trey Pound, King Gordy, which not a big fan of King Gordy because of the baby raping shit. That I have one rule. I used to have two rules in horrorcore. Now I have one rule in horrorcore, and that's no kids. I used to have no women, no kids, but now I'm killing women in my shit. So I guess I'm breaking that rule. But no kids, man. That's my number one rule in horrorcore. Don't rap about fucking hurting kids. That's not cool. And Keaton Gordy apparently loves that shock value shit. Good for him. Not my thing. I'm not gonna hate on the dude, because I know people like him, but not my thing. Especially with the fucking kids and killing kids angle. I don't like that. DJ Clay did a DJ set, which was fine. Like kind of dubsteppy thing. It was all right. It was kind of basic though. I kind of wish, no hate to DJ Clay, I like DJ Clay. Kind of wish they would have given that spot to DJ Chunk, because DJ Chunk is really good with mixing that wicked shit. And it was actually a little bit before this, around 11 o'clock, I would say, that one of the funniest heckles that I have ever heard. I have a question. Who the fuck smokes lavender? My homie Kosuke and his girlfriend Grace. Yo, he was on the subject of lavender. He's putting me onto this shit called Blue Lotus that we were putting into some blunts this past week. That was some weird shit, dude. Ooh, here we go. Michelle Libra Luna in the chat. I have been to several Grateful Dead shows. I am from the south side of Chicago. When I found ICP, I knew that is where I was meant to be. The Juggalo family is very similar to Deadhead's family. I've heard that a lot. There's Fish. There's Fish. There's a book that Nathan Raven. Check Nathan Raven's book out. You Don't Know Us, But You Don't Like Us, and it's a book he wrote about Fish and ICP fandom and how very similar they are. I definitely think there's a lot to that. With the Deadheads being, I've never personally been to one of those type of shows, and honestly, jam band type of music isn't my style of music. But I'm not opposed to it, and I definitely would be open to going to one. Especially if some of the vibes are similar to Juggalos, which I keep hearing. Shouts out to you, Michelle. Tiny paper like, you, no! Are you kidding me? One of those dirty hippies. Come on, hey guy. You really think that of me? Little old me? Come on. Come on. Okay. Alright, we're going long tonight, guys. We're well over an hour now. But I'm digging it. I like these longer shows. When I started doing this YouTube stuff, I told myself I was gonna keep it short, but I'm actually really digging doing these longer ones, so as long as you guys stay with me, I'm down with doing this shit. So yeah, we were talking about King Gordy, DJ Clay. Oh yes, I was going to talk about. I said DJ Chunk should have been DJing in DJ Clay's spot. No disrespect to DJ Clay, I just think it would have been better for this show, especially because at about 11 o'clock, one of the funniest heckling things I've ever heard in a crowd ever went off, where the dude screamed loud as fuck. So I know everyone in the club heard it because he said it during a dead part in between songs. What the fuck is this shit? We paid for the wicked shit! It was so funny and so fresh. I died laughing. I really died laughing. And no disrespect to whoever was on stage during that, because I frankly don't remember who was on stage during that. But it was super funny. My shit is way out of focus. You like that? Woo! Whatever, man. It's gonna be out of focus until it focuses. But yeah, that shit was funny. Another act got a fuck this shit chant, which I didn't think was funny because they were actually pretty talented. I'm not gonna say I remember who that act was. I'm not gonna say who that act was because I don't want to bury them, because I thought they were actually pretty good, and they had really bad sound problems with their microphone. One of their mics was almost off. Oh man, I tripped on Blue Lotus tea once. Used to sell it at the head shop near me. Yo, I didn't know it had some psychedelic properties. It definitely was relaxing. Smoking it in some blunts that we did there. Is this gonna get me flagged talking about smoking blunts? I don't know. YouTube is so strict lately. Is this gonna get me in trouble? Yeah, eating paper is better, hey guy. Okay? We eat paper, okay? Anyway, you're gonna get me in. These motherfuckers are gonna get me in trouble. I swear to God, these motherfuckers are gonna get me canceled, arrested, locked away, thrown away the key. I swear to God. Where were we? Let's talk about the concert. We're here to talk about the concert, okay? So yeah, DJ Chunk would have been fresh as fuck going in, especially because the next act was Ouija Mac. So if it was DJ Chunk going into Ouija Mac, that would have been lit as fuck. At this point, Ouija Mac's basically the co-headliner, right? Ouija did a smaller set than he did at the Hootenanny. And now I think he only did a 20 to 30 minute set at the Hootenanny. This was maybe a 15 to 20 minute set. Really short set from Ouija. I was pretty disappointed by that. But I think by that point, it was getting to be, fuck, it was almost 1 a.m. or something by that point. It was pretty late. Shaggy didn't come on stage until 1. And, yeah. So, during Ouija's set, I have something in my note I want to talk about. So, during Ouija's set, at this point, it's been a pretty long show. Motherfuckers have spilled beers. There's a lot of spilled liquid on the dance floor, if you will. And it's a nice, slick, wooden dance floor. And so motherfuckers start moshing in the pit a little bit. And there were some mosh pits breaking out throughout the night, don't get me wrong, but motherfuckers were definitely moshing for Ouija, and I saw some people busting their ass on that floor. And that was pretty entertaining. Now, going into Shaggy's set, there were some ninjas that really, really figured out how to have some fun with this slick floor. And I saw some real funny shit with motherfuckers sliding across the floor into each other with using the slickness of the floor to their advantage. There's this really awesome moment where these two dudes in the pit like kind of grabbed hands adorably and like swung each other. Like one dude was swinging the other dude around, and his feet were firmly on the floor, but he was just sliding with the slickness of the floor, and it was like it was dope. And that brings me back to the beginning when I talk about sometimes at these shows, some of the most entertaining shit that you can see are the Juggalos, and that's definitely true for this show. Not that the opening acts weren't entertaining. There was a lot of fucking dope opening acts, but some of these Juggalo antics, especially that fellow who yelled, "What the fuck is this shit? We came for the wicked shit." That is funny as fuck. The guys spinning each other around, that is funny as fuck. A couple of other things that happened that night, you just don't see it anywhere else. There was a small moment, almost an insignificant moment, but I thought it was fresh as fuck, where we were going outside to get another break, get another breath of fresh air, and there's open Fagos everywhere. There's just like litter across the floor, and Kosuke and Grace kind of tripped over a Fago can. They're like, "What the fuck was that?" I'm like, "Fago can." It was just like such a small moment, but like just like so indicative of like motherfucker's first time at a Juggalo show, because both Grace and Kosuke had not been to Juggalo shows before. So that was, Grace really wanted to shout out to Sister Hatchet, who was in attendance. Grace really wanted to go up to Sister Hatchet and get a picture because she thought her outfit was fresh, and she thought the whole thing was fresh. And I told her, "Yo, Sister Hatchet's really nice. You should go and get that picture with her." Now I don't know if she actually did, but I was just trying to get across how friendly Juggalos are, especially if you want to take a picture with them, like if they're dressed up, because I feel like the reason that a lot of people are dressing up is to get that attention anyway, and have people tell them their shit is fresh and get that picture with them. So at that point, Shaggy's on stage. Shaggy did his standard fuck the fuck off motherfucker set, which he actually announced was the last time he'd be doing that set or doing that tour. I'm not sure what the announcement was, but it was something along the lines of he's gonna not do that set anymore. I'm believing that's what he was saying. So about a half hour into a Shaggy set, they switch over to DJ Clay rapping. Now, once again, this episode's gonna seem like I'm shitting on DJ Clay. I'm not shitting on you, DJ Clay. It's 1:30 something in the morning by the time this happens, and I can tell there's a look on Shaggy's face when he goes behind DJ Clay's board, and they're like looking for other songs, right? And he announces, "Yo, who wants to hear DJ Clay rap a song?" And DJ Clay raps one song, then he raps two songs, and then I realize Shaggy's looking for other beats to play. I think maybe he couldn't. Looks like there's some confusion on their face. I'm like, oh shit, they're gonna close out the night with DJ Clay. Once again, nothing against DJ Clay. Psycho C in the chat, whoop whoop, my guy. Once again, nothing against DJ Clay. It's 1:30 in the morning. I hadn't eaten all day, and I had an hour and a half drive. So I'm thinking, if I leave right now, I get home at 3 in the morning. If there's no traffic and no rain, because that's the other thing. It was raining on and off that whole night. So I decided I'm gonna jet. So, and beat a little bit of the traffic, and oh boy, really hot question in the chat. Hey guy in the chat, do you guys get money for these performances, or is it still just for recognition and hype? No ill intent or anything. I'm just curious, since being a musician is a completely different type of grind beast. We don't get any money, that's for sure. We had to pay to be on this show. These are buy-ons. Now, that's for me. I don't know if any of the, obviously, your Trey Pounds and your Ouija's and your DJ Clays and your Shaggy Two Dopes, they're getting paid. We're not getting paid. No, we're not getting paid. We had to pay. Um, I don't know if there were some people who performed for free. Maybe that happened. I think that's probably for the openers about the best it got, though. But that's what I wanted to say a little bit about that opening situation. You know, some people really got the bone with this opening thing, and not to anybody's fault, not to the venue's fault, not to Fury's fault, because you know you can't plan for things going wrong. Everybody did the best they could to accommodate, but some people really got the bone with this stuff. And I think I just want to say real quick that make sure you're ready if you're going to be doing something like this. Make sure you know you have some material you really want to perform, you really want to share, and make sure it's worth it for you. Because I got worried that it wasn't going to be worth it for me, that I might get the bone, but it actually ended up working out really good for me. Because I had some material I really wanted to perform, and it was time. It was time for me to get out there in front of the Juggalo crowd for once. And hopefully I will be doing that a lot more. I will be performing at an after party at the Gathering. I can go ahead and announce that. Details coming soon. It's not an official event. It's an unofficial after party thing, but I will be performing at the Gathering. Yeah, man, nothing but honesty here. You're not gonna get bullshit from me, dude. I don't know how to. I seriously, I'm not sure if I know how to lie. Like, it's like a waste of energy or something, you know. Like, I'm not gonna bullshit you. Let's see. So yeah, I dipped at 1:30, got home at 3 a.m., made a microwaved lean cuisine. Mwah! What a great meal at 3 a.m. after a good 12 hours of stressing out about rapping in front of people. So that was my day. And I only had water all day and paper. But yeah, it was a really good time. Despite the small bones and setbacks, I think I did a really good job. I definitely took advantage of the situation the best of my ability, and yeah, I hopefully made some new fans and made some people aware of me who weren't quite aware of me or what I did before. So yeah, hopefully I will be doing more of these things. To wrap this up, though, I got to talk about, which kind of ties into appreciate the honesty a little bit. Ego. I want to talk about ego. So being around a bunch of rappers at a rap show, you definitely you encounter. Man, I am so out of focus. Ooh, this motherfucker getting mad out of focus, huh, guys? Sorry about the out of focusness. Hopefully I can figure out what's going. There we go. There we go. I got to stay in this nice happy zone. It really likes right here. Yeah, it's gonna be an after party thing, so probably super late night type of thing. But yeah, definitely look out for that party. I think we're gonna be having the flyer ready soon for that. Shouts out to Michael Lawless and New Metal Smith from the Psychopathic Museum community, who I found out about that show from. It's really fucking fresh. They're doing that show, and it's gonna be a fucking good time. They're gonna have rap battles, and if you want to perform some rap battle shit, hit them up, because I'm sure there's still some spots open. But I'm gonna be talking about that shit some more. But I want to talk a little bit about ego, because there, you know, you're around a bunch of rappers, and you can definitely tell there's a bunch of egos floating around. And you know, I deal with my little issues with ego myself. I might call myself humble among, but you know, I deal with my own little fucking ego bullshit. But a lot of my journey the past year, my pursuit of happiness, as I like to call it, has been trying to kill my ego and step outside of myself and you know, see things for how other people maybe see them. And therapy's helped me a lot with that, killing my ego. Certain forms of therapy have also helped. Other forms of therapy have helped me with that. And I just want to, you know, there's a difference between ego and having confidence. Let me make this really clear, because you can have confidence in yourself. You can feel like a bad motherfucker. You can feel like you look attractive. That's all good. That's all really good positive stuff. But it's when you start to get like, I'm the best looking motherfucker, you know? I'm the best MC on the world and on the planet. I am the best. You know, when you start to get like that, That's a huge turnoff for me. I hate that shit. And honestly, like, it kind of bums me out and puts me in a weird spot. And not that there was any rappers at this show who were flexing like that. Yeah, yeah, there was a couple. There was a couple of rappers at the show definitely had really overblown egos that maybe didn't deserve it. But nonetheless, that's their issue. They don't. But what's really dope about stepping outside of that ego bullshit is you get to recognize it and you get to see how ridiculous it looks for other people to be behaving that way. So it's really worth doing. It's really worth exploring killing your fucking ego because you don't need it, and it's not going to help you. Confidence will help you, however. It's really good to be confident in yourself. That's something else I struggle with, is legit confidence in myself and not just an overblown fucking ego. And learning the difference. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about ego and confidence and the difference and knowing the difference and being aware of the difference when you see it. Because to me, there's nothing more unattractive in the world than someone with an overblown ego that doesn't deserve it. Yeah, it's really gross. It's really gross. It's one of the grossest things in the world to me. In fact, a lot of times I will disconnect completely and just leave a situation or walk away from a situation if I feel someone has an ego that is, the size of a house, if you will. Anyway, thank you for watching. We were about an hour and a half tonight. Really appreciate everybody watching with me. I think Shaggy and the Creep is coming on soon, so I'm going to get the fuck off here so y'all can watch, some Juggalo shit other than this. I'm sure you're wanting to watch Shaggy and the Creep over Silly Humble Among, so what's the point of being on here? Oh, another thing. I wanted to shout out real quick Toxic Plague Entertainment on YouTube. Stony Low put me on to them. Really dope YouTubers, Juggalo YouTubers as well. Stony Low said I should try to get onto one of their live streams and chop it up. I think I'm going to try to do that when I have some free time and they're streaming. They seem to do a lot of late night streams, so hopefully I can catch them on a weekend stream when I'm up stupid late, and yeah, I can chop it up with my special brand of Juggalo bullshit opinions. Did you sell merch at the show? I skipped over that actually. Let me touch on that real quick before I wrap up. I did bring merch to the show, right? But when we got inside, we were told everybody's merch has to go on those two tables over there. And we're talking about 20 fucking openers had to fit their merch on the table. And honestly, I wasn't trying to fight for space for that shit. So I didn't sell any merch, unfortunately, but I also wasn't trying to hawk my shit. I didn't do the corny thing on stage when you're like, I got CDs and shirts for sale. I don't like doing that shit because it just comes off corny to me. I'm a really bad salesman. I'm okay at making the music, but I'm fucking horrible at selling the shit. So no, I didn't. I have stickers. If you guys see me ask for stickers, I had them. I didn't give them to anybody because I'm a bad salesman. But yeah, shout outs to Toxic Plague Entertainment. Hopefully you guys will see my silly ass on there at some point. Enjoying their content. I've caught a couple of their streams. They actually had Cherry Pie on one of their recent streams. Shout out to the homegirl Cherry Pie. First Juggalette they had on the stream. She did a really good job, I thought. So yeah, shouts out to her for being on there. And yes, we are wrapping up. This is the end. Humble Among broadcast system. Episode 3, Ego. Episode 4 probably coming next Wednesday because it seems like I'm just doing these on Wednesdays. But I'm going to do a very special program for y'all, I think this weekend, because I have the notes finished for it. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want anybody to bite my idea, because I think this is a good idea that someone would bite. So I'm not going to say what the idea is. I'm just going to do the live and drop it live. But yeah, I have some really cool video I want to do for you guys about ICP and the Gathering. And I want to do a couple of Gathering videos for you. So yeah, expect a couple of special videos about ICP related content coming soon. As always, please like this video. Check out my music on all streaming services. Humble Among is my artist name. go to my Bandcamp if you actually do want to buy some merch. Look at me, I'm figuring it out. Go to humbleamong.bandcamp.com. I have some of my CDs and shirts, and I throw in free stickers with every order. Free random bullshit, actually, with every order. You get, what other weird collectible stuff I might feel like throwing into the package at the time. Anyway, hope everybody has a great evening. I'll see you next time. Peace.